In the year 1944, as the Second World War approaches its end, an agreement known as the Moscow Armistice is signed between Finland and the Soviet Union. According to this armistice, Finland is obligated to disarm the Nazis and drive them out of Lapland. The Nazis, however, resort to a scorched earth strategy, destroying everything in their path, including roads, bridges, villages, and towns. In the remote wilderness of Lapland, a former Finnish commando named Korpi seeks solace away from the war. Accompanied by his loyal canine companion and a sturdy horse, Korpi spends his days panning for gold in the river, determined to uncover even the tiniest speck that signifies he is on the right track. Having finally found a promising gold deposit after days of digging fruitless holes, Korpi rejoices with overwhelming happiness. He breaks down the substantial deposit into valuable nuggets and carefully conceals them in his tent, staying awake throughout the night to guard his newfound treasure. The following morning, Korpi collects all the gold, places it in a bag, and embarks on a journey with his horse, closely trailed by his faithful dog. After a few hours, Korpi encounters a group of Nazi soldiers led by General Bruno. Accompanying them is a perilous tank and a truck carrying abducted women, whom Soldier Wolf shamelessly exploits. Undeterred, Korpi continues on his path, exchanging a brief glance with Bruno but otherwise ignoring the soldiers. Wolf desires to shoot him, but Bruno intervenes, remarking that Korpi is riding towards his own demise anyway. As Korpi rides further, he comes across the gruesome aftermath left behind by the Nazis, but he remains unperturbed. Eventually, he encounters a truck with 4 additional soldiers who order him to dismount from his horse. Upon inspecting the bags, the soldiers discover the gold and believe they can claim it for themselves. Sensing their intentions, Korpi quickly instructs his dog to flee. One of the soldiers attempts to shoot the dog, but the nimble creature manages to evade the bullet. Addressing Korpi as Grandpa, the soldier makes an ill-fated attempt to shoot him as well. Reacting swiftly, Korpi employs his knife and swiftly stabs the soldier in the head, resulting in instantaneous death. The remaining soldiers seek revenge and engage Korpi in a hand-to-hand combat, but Korpi's agility allows him to swiftly dispatch them, using their bodies as shields when someone attempts to shoot him. He defeats one soldier by striking him with a helmet, and when the last one tries to attack him from behind, Korpi skillfully twists the soldier's arm and eliminates him using his own gun. The sound of gunshots draws Bruno and the others back to the scene, only to find a massacre and Korpi vanished. While inspecting one of the bodies, Bruno discovers a hidden gold nugget in the soldier's pocket, prompting him to decide that they should pursue Korpi. Moments later, the Nazis locate Korpi on the road, and the tank begins firing shots at him. Displaying remarkable skill, Korpi urges his horse to accelerate and adeptly dodges every bullet, only to inadvertently enter a minefield. Bruno orders his men to cease fire and waits for Korpi to step on a mine, confident of an easy victory. However, it is the horse that bears the brunt of the explosion, leaving Korpi wounded but alive. Regaining consciousness with a throbbing head, Korpi bids farewell to his horse before preparing to mount a counterattack. As the Nazis draw near, Korpi seizes the opportunity to retrieve the gold that had fallen out of the bag. Observing this, Bruno orders his soldiers to open fire on Korpi. However, Korpi skillfully uses the fallen horse as cover, avoiding the barrage of bullets. With a newfound determination, Korpi retaliates, taking down several soldiers with precise shots from his pistol. Bruno, realizing the danger, calls for reinforcements and retreats to a safer distance. Undeterred, Korpi retrieves his hidden gold nuggets and conceals them once again, making sure they are secure. He then assesses the situation and formulates a plan. Knowing that the Nazis will continue to pursue him, Korpi decides to use his knowledge of the terrain to his advantage. He takes off into the dense forest, utilizing his familiarity with the wilderness to navigate through treacherous paths and hidden trails. The Nazis, despite their efforts, struggle to keep up with Korpi's swift movements and expert evasion tactics. Days turn into nights as Korpi skillfully eludes his pursuers, leading them deeper into the unforgiving wilderness. He relies on his survival skills, honed by years of living off the land, to find shelter, food, and water, while maintaining a constant vigilance against the Nazis. During his arduous journey, Korpi encounters a group of resistance fighters who have been fighting against the Nazi occupation. Impressed by Korpi's determination and skills, they offer their assistance, joining forces to combat the common enemy. Korpi, grateful for their support, agrees to work together, sharing his knowledge of the area and tactics with the resistance fighters. With their combined strength, Korpi and the resistance fighters launch a series of guerrilla attacks on the Nazis, targeting their supply lines, communication networks, and strategic outposts. They disrupt the enemy's operations, causing confusion and disarray among their ranks. As the resistance gains momentum, Bruno grows increasingly frustrated by their relentless resistance. Realizing that he must put an end to Korpi's defiance, Bruno personally leads an assault on the resistance stronghold. The battle that ensues is fierce and intense, with gunfire and explosions echoing through the forest. In the midst of the chaos, Korpi and Bruno finally come face to face. Both men, battle-worn and determined, engage in a fierce hand-to-hand combat. Their fight is a display of skill, strength, and sheer willpower. After a grueling struggle, Korpi manages to overpower Bruno, disarming him and leaving him at his mercy. Instead of seeking revenge, Korpi chooses a different path. He spares Bruno's life, realizing that the cycle of violence needs to be broken. With a nod of understanding, Korpi walks away, leaving Bruno to face the consequences of his actions. As the resistance fighters secure their victory, Korpi bids farewell to his newfound allies. He decides to continue his solitary journey, using his survival skills to disappear into the wilderness once again. With his faithful dog by his side, and the gold nuggets as a reminder of his resilience, Korpi seeks solace and redemption in the untouched corners of Lapland. And so, the legend of Korpi, the lone warrior of Lapland, lives on, inspiring tales of bravery, survival, and the enduring spirit of resistance against oppression.